some real soul searching I gotta do, but like I said, I fall down, I pick myself back up. The winner by split decision.
I'm happy to just sit on the sidelines, take time to get better. So we'll see what's next for me in 2024.
Looking at Aljamain Sterling's title run, in 5 years' time, will we remember it?
First of all, it starts with Petr Yan, who I think, if he never wins a belt, is going to be one of those guys like Thiago Alves. You know, he fought everyone up the division. He was really scary. Looking back at Alves, you acknowledge him as like a badass guy, but he was never champion. So if you look back at Aljamain Sterling and say like he had those really close fights with Petr Yan, who was like this badass killer, I don't know if that will age necessarily well. And then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, that's when TJ came back, but obviously he was super injured at the end of his career.
I don't think you remember that.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
what I'm
you'll
saying.
remember TJ.
That's what I'm trying
back.
to say.
What we'll remember from TJ is popping and then going away for 2 years. We'll remember that.
You'll probably look back at Aljamain's title run and remember moments from other people's careers. You'll remember that's when TJ's tried to come back, or you remember that's when
you remember the
Cejudo
knee.
tried
You
to
remember
come
the
back.
knee.
Yeah, and
you'll remember him as the first champion to win a belt
By just DQ.
by DQ.
Yeah.
He didn't finish people. I know he finished TJ, but like the guy was basically finished by himself. He didn't get anything where you was like, wow. Like the best thing he did was Corey Sandhagen rear naked choke. And that was before he became champion.
This is what I was saying about that video that we did a couple of weeks ago with Alja. It's just like, if he loses, which he has lost, like this is so bad for that man now. He's not going to get an immediate title fight rematch. Or if he does go up to 145, he's going to have to earn that shot against Volk.
Do you know what's
he's not going to jump up there and fight.
Is that he put his own nails in the coffin by saying, if he can knock me out, I don't know what Volk could do. And he said that in the ring. And it's like, don't do that. Just stay quiet. If you think that, just don't say anything like that, because Dana's like, well, you clearly don't want it then. So like, not only were you not going to get it because you just lost, you've now put any thought of that to bed. So you could see him go up fighting a contender, maybe like a Brian Ortega or something like that.
It was basically for almost everyone involved, apart from Aljo, the best fucking outcome.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty true.
Honestly, is this the most tragic title run in UFC history? From winning the belt, being unliked, and getting KO'd by this hype machine in Sean O'Malley that loads of people like.
Yeah, or loads of people dismiss as not being very good, but he still knocked you out anyway.
Also, people see him as like the company's poster boy who they're pushing unwarrantedly.
Yeah, and a lot of people also were like, you're going to smash him and ragdoll him when you get knocked out. So I think you could be right. Like it obviously went on for a while, but that in some ways is also more tragic, that you had multiple opportunities to win the fans back and you couldn't. The fact that it's spread out.
And I think what makes it worse is that how humble and respectful he's been in the post interviews and things like that.
He's done nothing wrong.
No, he's been a great champion, and even when he didn't want to fight earlier than he thought, he still did it. He still stepped up and took the fight, maybe with some underestimation of his opponent. But, I mean, he did everything he was asked to. He was trying to hype himself up. He was being a bit cheesy and a bit corny, but he was doing his things to promote the fight. And yeah, just could never get anyone on side for some reason.
Basically, what happened the moment Sean won, everyone was like, yeah, he was the best bantamweight ever, and look what Sean's just done to him. But was he really the best bantamweight champion ever?
Well, we always have recency bias, don't we?
Yeah.
Like if someone's defended their belt 3 or 4 times, it's like, oh yeah, they're the best ever. But also when you're in a division where like the title defense record isn't particularly high, I think it was 2.
The term GOAT or the best of all time is banded around far too much nowadays. Like they were doing it with Usman, and then Leon knocked him out and kind of took all that. And then they were doing it obviously with Aljo recently. He's a very active and he's a very recent champion. And 3 defenses, although they were great wins over great people, it's not that incredible. For me as a champion, it's kind of what you expect to someone, at least get that mark, someone who's really great. You would expect someone of that caliber to get to that level. When you've got people in the sport who are legends like GSP, Anderson Silva, people that with real record holding title defenses, like Demetrius Johnson, the greatest title reign of all time, I don't think you can say Aljamain just because he's got one more than the last guy. That makes him the GOAT?
Okay, so Demetrius Johnson is a GOAT because he defended his belt a bunch, but it has to be judged against way more than just how many title defenses you have. It's
How did you do it?
how do
That's
you do
what I'm
it?
trying to say.
What's the caliber of the opponent? And honestly, the caliber of his opponents were in question a lot of the time anyway. You had Cejudo coming back off 3 years. You had TJ having one arm. You had, the fights with Jan. The second one was a great win, right?
It was a close win.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
a
but
split.
all of his
Yeah.
fights have been close.
It was
apart from TJ, the Henry fight was very close
That's
as
the thing.
well.
If this, I don't want to just turn this into like shit on Aljamain, but if he's the greatest of all time, is he having close split decision wins in his title reign, or is he like finishing people like we know he can?
The thing
Look,
is,
he's not the greatest bantamweight.
no,
of all
he's
time.
not. No.
He's not.
But like, if he beat Henry Cejudo when 3 years ago, that would have helped a lot. And if he beat TJ and he wasn't injured, that would have helped a lot. So he's got the names, but
Let's be honest, even like Henan Barao, he had a hell of a run with incredible knockouts. His spinning kick knockout against fucking Eddie Winan was unbelievable. Aljamain didn't do anything like that during his run. Before he was beaten by TJ, people were like, this guy's the best ever. This guy hasn't ever faced anything that he can't handle supremely well. You do forget about Henan just because of the landslide losses that he's had in his last 5 years of his career.
well, it's more the fact that the only person who's kind of there at the moment is Volk, right?
Yeah.
But he has also just lost.
He wasn't a champion at 155. He's a champion at 145, and he's on 5 title defenses at 145.
I don't know what his weight cut is like, whether he's had history of it's a difficult cut to get to 145, but I feel like the only reason he is actually going up to lightweight is because there's literally nothing for him there. The other argument of that is, honestly, he could just stay at featherweight and just continuously dominate over and over again.
Continuously beat Max Holloway.
No, but
again.
he could just take. It's no different to Demetrius Johnson though. How many title defenses he had? 11. Name half of those title defenses.
You have to have contenders that are doing magical things, fight the champion, and then the champion to beat those people. Because if you don't have the contenders who can actually sort of create an interesting matchup with the champion, then you're never gonna
It is kind of crazy when you look at, obviously Sean O'Malley's just become the bantamweight champion. When did he fight on the Contender Series?
2017, 18, yeah.
That's a long time ago. He's had quite a few years now to get to that place. And when you think about dominant champions, how hard it actually must be to stay dominant over, say, 4, 5, 6 years of just defense after defense after defense without any kind of slip up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
GSP talked about how much that screwed him up, didn't he?
Exactly,
The pressure
yeah.
of having
Pressure
to do
of that.
and-
Fedor lost and everyone's like, oh my God, it's great. But, he was just the person that never stands up, never falls down. I mean, he never publicly said, oh, this is who I am, I'm the best ever. People put him in that spotlight because he was just winning. I mean, he barely defended the Pride heavyweight title. And then actually, when you look at his career following the Big Nog fights, other than Pro Cop, he was fighting Zulu Zenio, Hongman Choi, Matt Linlan, he
Yeah.
fought.
Yeah.
The fact that he was that was his competition.
Brett Rogers.
There was a bulk of time there where he's got 5 wins against who?
Yeah, but it's how he was doing it.
But that's the thing. You can have those performances against people like Zulu Zenio. Because Zulu Zenio has never fought.
Do you think, as a community, we need to sit down and say, let's
Yes.
stop?
We just get excited. We just get excited.
But it's
That's-
I
also
don't get excited. I'm like,
it's the social media bullshit, fast nature of things. It's we need to put a label on this. This is the
you need
newest
to-
best
you-
thing.
but didn't John Anik say he was the GOAT? It's not just social media, right?
But at the end of the day, it obviously just comes down to marketing as well, doesn't it? It's just
Yeah.
you need Ron Perlman. The cold open is the final buy-in, isn't
Yeah.
it? So you need the badass guy. You need fucking Hellboy to come in. Today, we're sampling a bit of Howler Head cocktails. I've whipped up my favourite cafe latte with a bit of Howler Head. So why don't you try some of that?
I will have
Not
some
all
of
of it,
Thank
though.
you very
'cause
much.
Obviously, I want to
like
drink
that.
it.
At any time of day, I could have this for breakfast.
You could, yeah.
Oh, that's not. You can taste the banana in that. It's like
You
a
can,
creamy
yeah.
banana cold brew with alcohol.
So when you're doing your overnight fight companions, coffee, Howler Head, best of both worlds.
You think I have a couple of them?
Yeah.
That'll sort me right out.
I think you'd have a great time.
But also, I've gone with a classic, very elegant. I've gone for a highball in a low ball glass.
I'm passing
Classic
around.
drink. You know, my
Have
granddad
a
used
bang
to
of that.
drink ginger ale and whiskey.
Ginger ale is
Classic
a
recipe.
great mixer.
This with a little lemon, but also a little banana. Ooh. Oh, there's a lot of interesting flavours going on there.
That is actually really nice.
Yeah, there's something about that.
If you wanted to do some cocktails like this, where could you buy your Howler Head?
I got mine from a large Tesco store. I mean, sometimes you don't want to go out, so you can get on Amazon. You can get on Master of Malt as well.
You guys weren't here for the Fight Companion, but we had at least 5 people join the channel members during the Companion. You see their names in chat because you get a little badge. Your messages highlighted in green.
Basically, at the end of the day, if you join us as a channel member, you get 2 of these poddies a week where the boys just have a little chat and have a bit of fun, say some really dumb, silly
And
stuff.
that is on any level, right? That is
yeah,
so.
you
If you
join
just
in as a Just Bleed member, get the 2 poddies. If you join as a champion or a Hall of Famer, boy, you got some fucking perks, haven't you? There.
Yeah,
you get in
t-shirts.
There's no t-shirts,
There's
but
no
you do get to
t-shirts,
join the writers meeting and inject your ideas into the channel, into the scripts, everything we've been working on as well. But yeah, just want to say thank you to all of you guys who have signed up already. Really appreciate the support. It's very, very much welcome, and it helps us keep going and doing things like this for you guys.